Pete Thamel just dropped a bombshell on Pat McAfee, saying that Texas Tech will be in on Georgia transfer quarterback Carson Beck. In today's video, we'll discuss if the Red Raiders are actually making a significant push after the Georgia quarterback, or could it be a leverage play, as well as multiple questions that now arise from Texas Tech just even being in the mix, right, surrounding the starting quarterback position for the Red Raiders in 2025. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you want instant reaction to all things Texas Tech football, men's basketball all year long, 100% free, this is the channel for you. This is why we have the channel. And all we ask in return from you guys is to interact with the video and like and subscribe to the channel. I mean, it's that simple, right? 100% free content. Enough with my blabbling. I didn't even write down crazy notes for this. I really didn't. I have them in my notes app on my phone. So let's get to it, okay? Pete Thamel was on Pat McAfee for his appearance that he does every week there on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN. And Carson Beck entered the portal. For those that don't know, Carson Beck is the starting quarterback for Georgia. He got hurt in the SEC title game against Texas. He had UCL damage, underwent surgery. They started Gunnar Stockton in their game against Notre Dame in the playoff. They lost, and now Carson Beck has officially entered the transfer portal or plans to do so. Now, it's interesting from this standpoint. Coming into this college football season, before a snap was played, Carson Beck was viewed as the top quarterback in the 2025 NFL draft. He is no longer there. Obviously, injuries, some poor play early on, but he went on an absolute heater at the end of the year for Georgia to get them in the SEC title game. That said, Pete Thamel went on Pat McAfee and said this. Obviously, Carson Beck is going to the portal. According to ESPN's Pete Thamel, Texas Tech is pushing hard for a starting quarterback in the transfer portal and could loom in the background in the potential of landing Georgia starting quarterback Carson Beck. Full stop. First and foremost, do I think Texas Tech is going to land Carson Beck in the portal? No, I don't. I really don't. But that's not the crux of this video. Hold on a second. I think that Carson Beck is going to end up at Miami, and more likely than not, he's trying to use Texas Tech as leverage after seeing what Texas Tech did in the portal. Now, do I think Texas Tech reached out? Yeah, probably. I mean, I think every program in the country outside of maybe 4 should reach out because Carson Beck is going to be perceived, even with his injury risk, as one of, if not the top quarterback in college football next year. You don't have to like the guy. I get it. He's got a punchable face, but he's a good quarterback. Okay, and so there's going to be interest from damn near every school. I mean, the 2 other schools mentioned outside of Texas Tech were Miami and Ohio State. Okay, I think he ends up at Miami. I think that that's the odds-on favorite right now by a significant margin. But that's not why I'm making this video. In fact, it's the complete opposite of why I'm making this video. Again, I don't think Texas Tech lands Carson Beck. Maybe I'm proven wrong. It is what it is. A lot of questions came to mind, though, when I saw this. Okay, first and foremost, and again, this is just natural, I think, for Texas Tech fans to think when they hear news like this, these questions pop up. I think it's more than justified, and I'm just like you guys in this regard. Is Barron's shoulder a lot worse than we originally thought after surgery? Is this going to linger in to 2025, right? That's the question, because it could be strategic that Texas Tech is involved in terms of the names and they're from just a money perspective. But it's also interesting the words and the verbiage that Pete Thamel said in terms of Texas Tech is pushing hard for a starting quarterback in the portal, okay? That makes me naturally, I think probably you too, wonder, is Barron going to be even close to 100%? Is that shoulder injury worse than everyone originally thought, right? My next thought goes to, okay, so they don't think Will Hammond's ready yet. And to be honest, is he? I don't know. I mean, if that Arkansas game was any indication, to be fair, you were without some of your starters, but they were too. Will Hammond didn't look sensational or anything, right? Like, I think after that game, it became very clear that there should be no quarterback battle if Behren Morton's healthy. But again, now you have to wonder, is Behren Morton healthy, right? Or is he even going to be close to it? And then the next question I had was, okay, they're targeting Beck, right? That means they're going after the tippy top of the top when it comes to the quarterback market, if there's interest there. And again, I don't think this gets out there. Texas Tech is interested if it's not real, okay? Again, Are the chances of them landing Carson Beck in the portal high? No. I think he probably, is the heir apparent to Cam Ward, right, down in Miami. But it makes you wonder, okay, well, if they're going after Beck, who else could they go out and get in the portal? Who could they target in the portal? Who have they even reached out to in the portal when it comes to a potential starting quarterback? I think that there's multiple options there. And again, I'm not going to list them out here, but now it's something to think about that in an area of need for Texas Tech, I did not have quarterback as one of them, right? In terms of that. I had it, okay, you went out and you got the quarterback from Wake Forest as your third string. You feel good about Morton. He's got plenty of time to recover. Now with this news, you wonder, could that injury loom even larger than we possibly thought or loom longer than we thought in terms of the recovery time? It's that. And then this as well. Should we expect Texas Tech to be hyper-aggressive in the portal at the top of the quarterback market now? I think the answer is unequivocally yes. I don't think there's any way they can't be. If they're in on Carson Beck, he is the tippy top of it. Outside of John Mateer, who committed to Oklahoma, Carson Beck is probably the best quarterback in this portal cycle. And you're associated with him. That makes me think in a lot of different ways, okay, if Texas Tech is doing this, who else could they potentially go after later on? But the most notable thing is, again, they're in the conversation here, but the verbiage used by Pete Thamel in this, I can't reiterate this enough. I'm reading straight from this transcript I created. I went back and I listened to it a few times. According to ESPN's Pete Thamel, Texas Tech is, quote unquote, pushing hard for a starting quarterback in the transfer portal and could loom in the background as a potential landing spot for Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. Again, do I think that they land Carson Beck? And here this is, and I think Rob Burrow is all of us right now there in the corner. Texas Tech question mark. Me, yeah, I get it, But here's the graphic so y'all can see it from on 3, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Miami. Those are the 3 schools really at the forefront for Carson Beck. Again, I think it will end up being Miami, where he ends up replacing Cam Ward, a Heisman finalist. And again, I think the biggest question from all of this now is not the fact that, okay, Texas Tech, is going after Carson Beck. Now, in my opinion, it's the quarterback health aspect of things for Texas Tech and Behren Morton. Is it worse? And again, this is all speculation, right? But I think it's natural for people to think this way because now you're thinking, okay, you're going after a quarterback in the portal, and Pete Thamel says you're going after a starting quarterback. Is there something wrong with Morton? Obviously, we know he had shoulder surgery, but is it worse than they thought in terms of the timetable, in terms of getting him back? I think there's just a lot to think about if you're a Texas Tech fan now, and now you're in a market that I don't think anybody expected you to be in terms of the top of the quarterback market in this portal class. It's super fascinating, in my opinion, and now Texas Tech is linked to one of the best players, not just quarterbacks, in this portal cycle in Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. The 3 teams to watch are Miami, Texas Tech, and Ohio State, and I think it's probably in that order where he is likely to end up a Hurricane and be Mario Cristobal starting quarterback next year. But there's a lot of questions now surrounding Texas Tech in that quarterback position and the health of Behren Morton, and I think it's very natural now that Texas Tech is linked to high-level starting quarterbacks in the portal. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy on that front, but I think it's more than justified. Let me know down in the comments. And before you head out of here, if you want instant reaction on all things Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long, 100% free, all you got to do to join the Back to 12 squad is 3 things. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell.